Cutting across to some latest news coming in. This is a memo that has been circulated by Hemant Biswa Sarma and his government, and this is about bigamous institutions in marriages. No government employee can now go for a second marriage even if the religion or the personal laws allow. The person has to take permission of the government. We find cases where Muslim man may marry two wives and both fight for the pension of the same person. This law was already there. Now we have decided to implement it. Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma has made this statement after the circular came out. I'm just going to read the important portions. I hereby reiterate, and I'm reading from the memorandum, the office memorandum, as per the provisions of Rule 26 of the Assam Civil Services. So there are already rules for the civil services that exist. In this memorandum, those rules have been reiterated. So it's by a certain perspective, this is not something radically new that the government is doing. Now, no government servant who has a wife living shall contract another marriage without obtaining the permission of the government, notwithstanding that personal laws allow. The second point applies to the female officers. No female government servant shall marry any person who has a wife living with him without obtaining the permission of the government. Now, this may initiate, violation of this order may initiate disciplinary proceedings against the said officer. Let's listen into what Hemant Biswa Sarma has said.
This is a old circular. A Assam government employee, from the point of view of our service rule, he is not entitled to enter into a second marriage. However, if some religion allow you to enter into a second marriage, even then, from the conduct rule, you have to seek permission from the state government. Now, state government might give you, may not give you. So, we often get cases where after the death of the employee, both the wives fight for the pension. We find it very difficult to settle those disputes. Today also many widows are deprived of their pension because of conflicting claims. So this rule was there earlier. We did not enforce it. Now we have decided to enforce it.
My colleague Preeti is joining us on the broadcast. Preeti, the sort of reactions coming in on the story, what are the expected political responses we can see through the day?
See, earlier as the notification came out that no government employee can go for a second marriage, there were not a lot of political reactions that were seen because it was mentioned about a government employee. But when questioned about what kind of notification it is when there is already laws on marriages, then the Chief Minister of the state has clarified that mostly it has been seen in the examples of people who are of the Muslim religion where they get into 2-3 wives and it becomes later difficult for them to offer pension to so many wives of the same employee. So after that we have seen that a lot of reactions are coming in. We are trying to get in AIUDF particularly on it. We are working on it. But when we try to talk with the employee association, they have stated that such examples are mostly coming in from one religion, but also there are other examples coming in from other religions like Hinduism as well, where there are 2 to 3 more claimants of the same person's pension. So now we can see that the political reactions have started to come in. People are also talking about the law that is already there regarding the marriage. Why a person will again have to take a permission from the Assam government, we can say the officers, in order to get a second wife is also being questioned. But again, another fraternity have also praised it, stating that it actually becomes difficult for the people to offer pension to so many wives of the same employee.
No, but was there a rule that already existed under the civil services, Preeti? That's the key question, or this is something?
Yes, that was already there. The rule was already there, but it was not implemented because it was seen that there was no ground of maybe bringing in implementation at that point. But now the Chief Minister has stated that it has become very important for the people working in the pension department as well to bring in implement this law, which was already existing. Before, during the Congress regime as well, this law was there, but it was not implemented. Now it is brought into implementation as far the need is seen.
Okay, so Preeti, we are going to just reiterate few points that you've mentioned. A is a categoric assertion that this rule always existed. It was always there in the rule books, but it was never implemented, as Preeti pointed out. I believe it existed from 1965. That's what this memorandum says, that Rule 26 of the Assam Civil Services. Now, the fact that it's being implemented, as pointed out by my colleague, doesn't just affect the Muslims, but also a lot of indigenous community who may be covered under the Hindu personal law, but bigamy is a practice amongst those communities. So it's going to affect different communities, including the Muslim community. Preeti, let's talk about the political ramifications of it. The opposition, the Congress in the state, how is it likely to respond, or they've already issued a statement on this?
No, as of now, they have not issued a statement, but we are expecting some reactions from at least AIUDF, which is particularly, we have seen their representatives working in the minority areas where mostly second marriages are seen. And as Himanta Biswa Sharma has pointed out about the certain community, definitely they will give us a reaction in some while. We are trying to work on it. We are already working on it, and we are looking for reactions from their community, and particularly the AIUDF party and the main opposition in the state Congress as well.
Preeti, just let's talk about the narrative and discourse around personal laws and what the Assam Chief Minister has maintained as the Chief Minister of the state, as the leader of the government. There has been a lot of conversation in this country for a uniform civil code. Bigamy right now, legally speaking, is only allowed under the Muslim personal law. If any other community, any other person commits bigamy, they can be prosecuted under the Criminal Procedure Code, barring certain communities covered under the 6th schedule, which are tribals and indigenous communities. But if you talk as a religion, only Muslim personal law allows more than one wife for somebody to marry into. Has this been an issue which has been persistently part of the narrative that we have seen in the state politics of Assam?
Yes, we have seen that it has been a problem, and we have also seen that it has been persistent in the Indian politics, basically in the politics of Assam, where we have seen that there are a lot of cases where they have tried to work on, as you have said, bigamy. They are going on to marry 2 to 3 wives. We have seen that they have gone for mission against child marriages as well. So there are a lot of things happening in the state already, and this has also been seen as a part of those we can see the series of things that the Assam government is trying to implement in the state in this and last 2 to 3 months, not just in 2 to 3 months, but in a 1 year.
Absolutely. And whether it's the madrasas or it's bigamy or other facets of personal law, they have been spoken about by the Assam Chief Minister. Thank you, Preeti, for joining us on the broadcast and getting us all those details.